Oh, yeah. Here we go again. Thoughts About Nothing podcast. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am, as always, your host, Matt Fisherman, alongside my co host, Adam Mays.
Garth Algar. Oh, this isn't Wayne's
Wrong
World.
show.
Oh.
No, wrong show.
Wayne's World. Party time.
Woo, 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 woo.
That was terrible. That was so bad.
I know. I can't help it. I don't have the chops like Wayne or Garth. So
Yeah, we should probably restart the whole show.
Well, we're not going to because we don't have that kind of budget.
That's true. And it's free.
Welcome, everybody. We are taping this on a Thursday night. We missed Wednesday this week. I'm not going to name any names or who cost us the Wednesday night, but Adam, that was all your fault.
It was that damn Sasquatch.
Big week, huh? Big week last week in sports. We've got some non-sports stuff to talk about too. Grammy nominations were released today or yesterday, which is kind of a big deal. I feel like in the future, right before the Grammys, we're going to have our own Grammy podcast, but because I love those kind of things.
Yes, you do love them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
One thing we will talk about later in the show is this stupid Billboard Top 10 rap list that came out that both of us have some strong opinion about. Not to foreshadow anything, but our intro song of Wu-Tang, which is we'll both admit, one of the best, if not the greatest rap group of all time, didn't get its due on this list. So, yeah. We'll talk about it shortly, but both of us are very angry about this.
Yes. Yeah, that list is so bad. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, so let's see, where do we start? Let's start this week with college football. We have a playoff picture finally.
Yeah.
Final four is we'll go ahead and read it. It's Clemson with the 1 seed, no surprise there, undefeated. Been number 1 all year. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Michigan State, jumping Oklahoma. Are you surprised by that?
No. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think the top two are right, and then you just got the right to play Clemson or Alabama. And I think if I'm Oklahoma State, I want Clemson.
Yeah, Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Sorry.
But yeah, and anyway, Oklahoma's number 4. Is there any? These are obviously the 4 that should be in, right? Could you make a case for Ohio State?
No. I believe that you win your conference, you should be in the top 4. I don't care if you're in one of the Big 5 or whatever. You got to win your conference to get into this. And Ohio State had its chance versus Michigan State. They pulled that out. They're in the game. There's no question. So that's what I love about college football is usually it works itself out on the field.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ohio State won a bullshit national championship on a stupid pass interference call. So they owe college football a lot of luck here. So them missing out, they can't complain. They won a stupid national championship when they shouldn't have.
So you're saying this is karma from Craig Krenzel and Maurice Claret?
I'm not saying it's karma. I'm just
karma here.
No, I'm just saying they caught one hell of a break. So if they happen to miss out a couple years in a row, I'm fine by me.
I'm going to say this is sour grapes from a Miami Hurricane fan.
It's not sour grapes.
It's sour grapes.
It's just fuck Ohio State. And they were lucky as shit on a stupid pass interference call.
Wow, that was extremely aggressive.
It is. I'm still bitter, obviously, more than 10 years
later. Yeah. The sting that wound is still open and bleeding. Apparently,
it still hurts.
The
Craig Krenzel thing is really what hurts the worst. It's not just losing to Ohio State. He was the quarterback that beat one of the greatest college football teams of all time.
And he's probably one of the worst quarterbacks to win a national title in the last 20 years.
Oh, it makes me so angry. If
not the worst.
Who's better, Craig Krenzel or Johnny Moxon in Varsity Blues?
I'm going with Mox. I mean, I know he went to Brown University and hung up the spikes. But I'm taking Johnny Moxon.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I could see Moxon leading it. Like looking back on old footage, it doesn't even look like Craig Krenzel should be a quarterback.
I mean, I'm taking Lance Harbor. I'm taking Lance Harbor on crutches over Krenzel.
Let me ask you a question. With all these, this is way off topic, but with all these problems with offensive coordinators in the NFL, couldn't Lance Harbor have a job in the NFL right now?
Absolutely. I mean,
I think it's a very underrated quality. The guy was a high school quarterback who blew out his knee, and then all of a sudden became the greatest offensive coordinator of a high school football team. I don't know, 4 weeks later.
I mean, the biggest thing is he had Johnny Moxon, or he had Moxon as his quarterback.
He did, but answer me this: why Bud Kilmer leaves? Did he oversee this entire program? Were there no offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, no play callers, nothing? It was just Kilmer, and that was it.
There was no assistant coaches other than the kids' parents on the sidelines, saying that's the best time of them boys' lives.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and say Bud Kilmer's underrated as a coach then. If he's running that entire program by himself and he's won that many state titles, so what? He slapped a kid around every once in a while and shot him up with drugs. That guy's running a program by himself, and he'd win the state championship every year.
Yeah, there was one other coach. It was the coach that administered the cortisone shots.
Right. Where did that guy go?
Yeah, I don't know where he went, but obviously it was just run amok after Kilmer is forced out at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. We've gotten way off topic, but that's always bothered me. I don't. And Lance Harbor should be a head coach somewhere right now.
Oh, yes.
But that's just my opinion. He, something tells me he went on to race fast cars and then died in a fiery car accident.
Right. I'm glad you went there, not me.
All right, back to the college playoffs. So we're not going to get into the lines too much right now because it's a long way away. We have to wait all the way until freaking New Year's now for this. But it did shock me that Alabama's a 9-point favorite over Michigan State. Did that surprise you at all?
Yeah, when you're talking about the top four teams, on a neutral site, 2 scores. I mean, that's a big spread. I mean, look, Alabama's good, but they got whooped by an Ole Miss team that lost to Memphis, lost to a pretty weak Florida team, and then had a third loss, I think, to Arkansas or something like that in overtime. But yeah, Alabama is susceptible to lose just like anyone else. You just got to find the secret of stopping Derrick Henry, and then I think you can figure out Alabama. I don't think Jake Coker is anything very special. Obviously, Bama's defense again is the prize winning because they are stout on defense.
Yeah, they are, and they're good. I'll give you that. But I mean, they only beat Florida by 14, 16. What was how much did they win by?
I think it was
14, right?
It was 27.
I think it was 29 to 15.
Something like that.
I think it was 29-15. So you're going to tell me that Michigan State's only 5 points better than Florida? I would strongly disagree.
Sorry, taking a sip of scotch there. Yeah, Connor Cook, and Michigan State offense are going to be much more of a test for Alabama than.
I thought you were about to go Connor Cook against Treon Harris and break that down. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that and bore everyone with Treon Harris's ineptitude.
Who of the 4 teams, who do you think is the favorite to win it? Is it Clemson? I've seen a lot of. I think ESPN did a thing where they broke it down. They played this out 100 times or something, and Oklahoma came out the odds-on favorite.
All right, so am I answering this in who I think is the favorite or who I think the general consensus believe is the favorite?
No. Not necessarily general consensus, just more your opinion. I would say we won't get into the individual games of how it's all going to work out, but who do you think has the best chance of winning? Like if they played this 1,000 times, who do you think wins it more often than not of the four?
If I'm answering that way, Bama, just because they've got a coach that's been there. He knows what to expect. He knows how to prepare for these type of games, and they're pretty talented. If I were going to put money on a football team, it's Oklahoma.
Hmm,
Even with
that's interesting.
big game Bob always seems to crap the bed in these type of situations. But I just like Oklahoma and their boy Mayfield.
So no love for Clemson, huh?
I can't give love to Clemson again. Nothing against Dabo Sweeney or Clemson. It's Clemson. I can't wrap my mind around Clemson winning a national title. I can't get there.
All right, I'm all for that. I mean, they could have the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, but
Clemson's
who knows?
there's not Clemson's absolutely talented. I don't think I could say Clemson's your 2015 national title team. I just can't say that.
All right. Well, hey, we'll get into it. We have plenty of time for that. But speaking of the Heisman, they announced the invitees, I guess. Only three of them this year. Were you as surprised as I was that Dalvin Cook is not being invited to the Heisman ceremony?
Um, I think I saw two who's left off All American lists as well.
Was he really?
Yeah, I think I saw that today where he was left off the All American list. Look, a Gator fan, a guy that spurned the Gators and went to the Knowles, but this guy is the most jaw-dropping running back we've seen since Reggie Bush. And
Well, yeah, maybe.
no, there's no maybe about it. There's the guy. Anytime he touches the ball, he is a threat for the end zone. There isn't. At the beginning of the year, the first half of the year, Leonard Fournette was the guy, but Dalvin Cook. I mean, he was running half the time on one hamstring and one ankle this year, and still I think carried the ball 8 yards. I mean, he was unbelievable, and Florida bottled him up there for 3 quarters, and then Florida just got tired of stuffing him, and he ended up running for 112 yards in the fourth quarter because Florida's offense just obviously couldn't do anything. We scored 2 points because the defense decided to score. So they just got tired of tackling him, but Dalvin Cook was unbelievable. And Florida's defense played Henry, Fournette, and Cook, and Cook's the best of the three.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I will throw in that Todd Gurley was a beast in college football last year. So your most dynamic since Reggie Bush, I would throw Gurley in there as being in that list too. But yeah, as far as Heisman, I have no problem with the three guys they invited, but invite Dalvin Cook and Fournette and make it five like it normally is. Like why is it only three this year? Those two guys deserve to at least make the trip and get, and have the spotlight on them a little bit. Those are two fantastic football players. I don't have any problem with them not winning the Heisman, but at least have them as part of the show. They're absolutely in the conversation for the best player in college football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I don't know what's going on with Dalvin Cook or why he's not getting the national recognition he should be getting. And look, it's a big year for running backs. There are a lot of running backs, but I mean, there's definitely an argument there to be made. Like I'm looking at USA Today's All-American college football team, and Dalvin Cook is not on the first or second team.
That's terrible.
It's awful.
I mean, it's just, and again, that's to each their own. They can vote however they want to vote, but it's like having the freaking Grammys a couple years ago, and it's like, oh, Leo was in Wolf of Wall Street, and you got Bradley Cooper in American Sniper or whatever, well, they're not going to win, even though they were amazing. So we're just not even going to invite them. We're just going to invite the 3 guys that really have a chance to win, even though these 2 guys put up amazing performances. But since they're not going to win, we're not even going to have them as part of the show. It's ridiculous. They should be nominated, which is basically like what this is when you invite them to York. You should be in the picture just because you had an amazing year and you're an amazing player.
Yep, absolutely. And he was exciting, and the guy had, I think, 2 or 3 runs over 70 yards. I mean, touchdown. Dalvin Cook's stats are unbelievable.
Yeah, he might have had 2 against Miami. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna ask you to make a prediction later, but we'll do that at the very end. Let's move on to pro football. Let's talk our Bucks for a second. Are you? And I want you to admit this on the air because you texted to me. You're coming around on Jameis a bit. You've got a little soft spot for some Jameis.
Look, after that run on 3rd and 20, I'm a Jameis believer, and I think I told you that I was going to buy a jersey of his.
Well, I'll believe that when I see it. Actually, I might buy you a jersey for Christmas of Jameis.
Don't do that. I jinx everyone that I buy their jersey, so don't do that. Ask Jeff Blake, Drew Bledsoe, and those guys.
You had a Jeff Blake jersey?
Yes, I had a Jeff Blake jersey because I loved Jeff Blake.
Wow.
Dude, Jeff Blake back in the day was unreal. The guy was great. He played for Cincinnati. He was awful.
I remember. I'm well aware. Is there anything you own that is worth less than that jersey right now?
Less? Probably not. But I love Jeff Blake. And I don't...
Still?
Oh, no, there's no... I mean, I'll answer the question. There is nothing less that I own that's less valuable.
That's a terrible purchase. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
No, look, the guy in 1995 threw for 3,800 yards and 28 touchdowns. I mean, the guy was awesome.
Well, it was a different ball game back then too.
Awesome. Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
Maybe he was in the right time. Maybe nowadays he would just be an average quarterback.
Yeah, well, he did that with Cincinnati, mind you, in the mid-'90s.
Yeah, that's true. He paved the way for Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer.
Can our Bucks make the playoffs or no? Is it just too late?
I think Seattle's figured it out. We need Minnesota to fall back.
Yeah,
I think that's our only way in because Seattle, I don't see losing the rest of the year. And the Bucks, they got to, I think, kind of win out. I mean, the Vikings are 8-4, so they can win one more game. I don't know if we have the tiebreaker of the Vikings.
I have no idea. Vikings are losing right now to Arizona, by the way.
Good,
but it's close.
So I don't know. Well, I mean, the biggest sting in the ass is that we lost that stupid Redskins game. We're up 24-0. I mean, that's going to cost us a trip to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's tough. But all in all, whether we make the playoffs or not, this is already a successful season. And I don't want to dub him this yet, but we seem like we have a franchise quarterback. Now, time will tell, but he has taken every right progression this year to where it looks at 10 or 12 games into his career, it looks as if we have a franchise quarterback.
Well, that term gets thrown around way too much. We also thought that about Josh Freeman after his 10-6 year with Mike Williams, and
I'll agree. But here's what I will say:
we were Youngry. We were a Youngry team, according to Raheem.
God, don't bring up Raheem ever again.
We were Youngry.
He is outlawed from the podcast. Here's what I will say about that. Freeman, even though Freeman put up great stats and better than Jameis stats, he was never a leader like Jameis is. Like, Jameis has got that locker room right now, and guys are rally around him. Freeman was never that guy. And I think as a quarterback in the NFL, that's a big thing.
I agree with that point. However, we were still talking about him as a franchise quarterback.
I know. I don't. Yeah, and I'm cautious to say that, but through 12 games, you have to admit, Jameis is doing what a number one pick should do right now.
I would say Jameis has exceeded all expectations of the number one pick in his first year.
That's all I wanted you to say. Now we can move on.
Look,
God, we can cancel this podcast now. That's the whole reason we did this.
I can give credit where credit's due because what he's doing in his first year is pretty remarkable. But like I said, I'm still not ready to give the guy keys to the city. But I mean, he's been impressive for sure.
All right, that's all I wanted out of you. So speaking of impressive, Carolina still winning. I don't quite understand how. They're like good at everything, but not necessarily great at anything. I mean, are they going to go 16-0? Is this? It's time to start talking about this, right?
Yeah, I mean they're 12-0. I think I text you that the Bucs are going to beat them in Week 16. That's what.
Well, I hope so.
They're going to go 15-1, and the Bucs are going to beat him Week 16 to crush Newton's hopes and dreams.
It's possible. The thing that's crazy is they're still not really getting respect. I feel like if you were to poll, 100 people or whatever of who's going to make the Super Bowl, the AFC, I still think a lot of people are going to say New England, and in the NFC, I'm going to say a lot of people are saying Arizona still. You're going to get some Green Bays in there. I don't even know if Carolina gets half the people's votes right now, and it's just insane.
Yeah, give credit where credit's due. They're 12-0, but they're not a complete team. They got a good defense. I like Kuechly and Norman, and Newman. Cam Newton.
There's our obligatory Seinfeld reference that we have to throw into every podcast.
Newton is far and away the MVP of the league right now because
agreed.
Jonathan Stewart is running back who has never been anything other than second fiddle to D'Angelo Williams. And he doesn't, other than Greg Olsen, who is a legitimate playmaking all-pro tight end, he has no one else to throw to. So he doesn't have many playmakers around him. And the league just has no answer. They have no answer for Cam Newton right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they can go 16-0. I don't think they will. They've played a lot of close games.
They're going to lose somewhere. It's too hard to do in the NFL.
I mean, they seem like the best team. Now they went 14-2 last year. Let's not forget, and lost in their first game in the playoffs. So let's not forget that.
Were they 14-2 last year?
Yeah, almost positive. I'm doing that off memory, but yeah, I'm almost positive they were 14-2 last year.
We're gonna have to prove you wrong or right.
Okay, I'll let you look that up. And as you're looking that up,
I'm statting
it. As you're looking that up, let's get your quick. Let's talk about who gets the wild card in each conference right now. So it's getting late in the AFC right now. Your wild card teams tied at 7-5 are the Jets, the Steelers, and the Chiefs, all in wild card position. Bills are 6-6.
So wait, hang on. I want to go back because I want to tell you how bad you are at this.
Were they not 14-2?
No, they were not.
Was that 2 years ago they were 14-2?
I don't know when they were 14-2. Last year they were 7-8 with a tie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that.
I want you to understand.
They were 14-2 at some point in the recent future.
By 7 wins in a 16-game schedule.
I tried to block out that last year was that awful NFC South year.
I mean, I want you to know that you went on record saying the Carolina Panthers in 2014.
If anyone has ever questioned whether we are Whether we are qualified to commentate on sports, there you go, right there.
Yes,
There's your
yeah,
answer.
there's our proof. The proof is in the pudding, everyone. We're pulling everything out of our rear ends.
Yeah, I mean, you thought Oklahoma State was playing for the national championship earlier, so
They are in it, right? Them and the Oregon
no.
Ducks.
Yeah, not the right year.
Oh,
Anyway, back to this playoff picture. So you got the Chiefs, Steelers, Jets, and we'll throw the Bills at 6-6 in there. Two of those teams get a wild card. Who you liking?
so I really like the Steelers.
Me too.
I think they're in. I don't like any of the other teams, but let's go with the Bills.
You're an idiot.
I know.
I'm the Chiefs are my team. I mean, the Chiefs. They were like 1-4, I think, to start. Now they're 7-5. I mean, they're on fire. I cannot. Rex Ryan, I'm not really down with in Buffalo. I'm not really sure about Tyrod Taylor. I don't. They're a strange team. One week they look great. One week they look terrible. And the Jets, I can't get behind Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I've said it before. I really like what Todd Bowles is doing with the team.
Yeah, they're on the right track. But
but Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the answer for anyone's quarterback. In fact, they might want to call Jeff Blake off the couch.
Stop with Jeff Blake.
I wanted to get as many Jeff Blake references in now as I can.
Well, I'm glad you're getting Jeff Blake references and not Tebow, because I couldn't handle that.
I can talk Tebow if you want me to.
No, we're not going to.
You brought him up, not me.
So NFC Vikings the Vikings are 8-4, Seattle 7-5, Bucks and Falcons 6-6. It's just an uphill climb, right? It's pretty much Seattle and Minnesota, barring catastrophe, right?
Yeah, they got to come back to the Bucks. I definitely do not see the Falcons making a run. The Falcons are a dumpster fire at the moment.
Absolutely.
And Matt Ryan may be the most overrated quarterback of all time.
I don't know if he's overrated. I don't know where people rate him at, but he's the perfect middle level quarterback. He's like the 12th best quarterback, and that's where he's always going to be.
He sucks. Period. End of story.
I mean, I don't know if he sucks, but he just
sucks.
Not. Okay, I'm in with that.
I'll take Jameis Winston over him all day long.
Oh God, I'm so happy right now.
All day long.
Best podcast ever.
Famous Jameis.
All right, real quick. Baseball. Couple of the winter meetings going on right now. Some ridiculous contracts are going out there. Ben Zobrist to me was a ridiculous contract. $14 million a year for that guy is just really expensive. I realize he's going to help you in the postseason, but he's like a 260 hitter that just plays a bunch of positions. He's basically a utility player. He's a better Mark DeRosa in the postseason is what he is. And he's getting $14 million a year. But that's not even who I want to talk about. David Price and Greinke. $31 million a year for Price for 7 years. He's 30 years old. And Greinke got 6 years, 34.5, I believe. And he's 32 right now. I mean, these are ridiculous contracts for pitchers in their 30s, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't make sense, and it's baseball contracts are unbelievable because I mean those are guaranteed contracts. So if David Price decides he wants to suck the rest of his life in the major leagues and doesn't care anymore, I mean he's now worth $300+ million, and yeah, I don't see paying Price that much. I mean it's baseball pays on what you did 3 years ago.
I will say this. He's great.
Yeah, well they backload these contracts too. So in year 7 of this thing, he's probably going to get $42 million, and he's not going to be worth $3 million at that point because he'll be 37. There's not.
Well, forget 37. I mean, just think about 34 year. he'll be worth it this year. He should be the highest paid pitcher in the league this year. I mean, him or Kershaw, or there's you can pick 3 or 4 guys. Greinke's in there too, but he's in that discussion. But 34-year-old David Price, when he's throwing 91 instead of 96, is he worth 30 plus million a year? God, no. And then the same with Greinke, who has had he has like anxiety issues, and he finally found a great spot in LA, and now he's going to go to Arizona and get 34.5 million when, he's already 32. I mean, think about him at 34. He's still going to have 4 years left on this deal, and God knows what he's going to have then.
Yeah, they don't make sense to me. And on the Zobrist deal, it's the same thing. They're paying for, what he's done the last 4 years as opposed to what they're going to get out of him for the next 4. And it just doesn't make sense how they contract these guys. But whatever, I don't sign their checks.
Yeah, and all these teams have money, the ones that sign these guys, so they can do what they do. Now, this brings up an interesting question, especially with those Zobrist and with the 2 pitchers. What's the most important position in baseball to pay for? Is it an ace? Is that still the number one thing? Like, if you're starting a team, is that the number one thing you go out and get is an ace?
I'm gonna say that a starting pitcher is the most important position in maybe all of sports. The ace, look, the ace is the guy. I mean, he can literally win you a game by himself.
Well, I agree. In today's game, there's nothing more important than a quarterback, because you can see, when's the last time Tom Brady missed the playoffs, and then when's the last time a shitty quarterback made the playoffs? It's,
right, but
there's a large disparity.
There is, and again, but I think that they're more dependent on their guys around them than they are in baseball. They still have defense, but you can have a guy like the Kerrywood 20K game where no one can touch the guy.
Yeah, I agree, but then my counter to that would be, well, why did the Dodgers not win the World Series last year with Greinke and Kershaw? Why did they not even make it to the World Series?
I can't tell you why, but Brady's not perfect in the playoffs either.
Well, yeah. Look, I agree you need an ace. It would be what I would start a team with, but
in baseball, it's absolutely the one thing that you have. It's the most important position, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. I still just don't think you should be overpaying as much as some of these teams are for an ace, and especially Price and Greinke actually mind less than these second-tier guys that get ace money just because a team needs to call someone their ace. So they pay a guy $18 million a year, which is $6 million more than he should be making, and then he goes out there and is not really an ace, and he goes 500.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Like, I mean, David Price and Zach Greinke. I mean, I'm not even sure I can say Zach Greinke is a slam dunk ace. He had a fantastic year last year, and despite what Arrieta did, should have, would in normal seasons be the hands down Cy Young Award winner. But, Greinke's had good years, but, he's had a couple of big years. But I don't know. He's just, to me, Greinke's not worth that type of money. I'm not sure Price is either, but, I mean, they got good agents.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue that discussion. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot more stuff going down. I know there were some trades today in the winter meetings, but as they go on, I'm sure there'll be a couple more big ones that come down the line. I was going to have my obligatory Steph Curry talk today after they won again this week, but I think I'm going to skip it. I'm going to wait and see what happens against Boston this week and see where we go from there. Bottom line, Golden State still good, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, they're okay.
So now I want to get to what we teased earlier. Something I've been stewing about since they came out with this list a while ago. But Billboard came out with their top 10 greatest rappers of all time list. I don't know why they decided to come out with this right now, but they did, and I'm gonna just read this person by person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know you've seen it, but
Yeah.
I'm incredibly angry at some of these. So, number 10, Lil Wayne. I'm gonna. I'm not a Lil Wayne fan, but I get why people think he's great. I respect some of the things he does. I'm just not a huge fan.
I want to point out the irony of two white dudes upset about the greatest rapper list.
Yeah, but we grew up on hip hop. This is our thing, man. We're deep entrenched in the hip hop roots.
I mean, we're straight out of Tampa. I mean, there were so many hip hop groups that came out of Tampa.
Hey, don't you forget I grew up in Carroll Hood, okay?
That's from. Boy. All right.
Lil Wayne, any thoughts from you?
No, just read the list in its entirety.
All right, number 9. Well, no, but I want to break them down one by one because I'm going to get angry if I just go straight through. Especially in a couple. But Kendrick Lamar, number 9. I think we're both in agreement on this one anyway. That we both like him. He's a little new, I think, to be on this list, but he very well could end up there one day. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, he's definitely not top 10 all time, but
not yet, but could be.
Sure.
Number 8, Ghostface Killah, the only Wu-Tang guy on the list.
I love Ghostface, but he's not a top 10 guy.
I agree. Not individually.
No.
No. This one I'm gonna have trouble reading. Lauryn Hill. When was she a rapper?
I don't know. I mean, she had that
R&B singer. I get. I mean, she was in the Fugees. She kind of did like hip hop type stuff, but I don't think anyone would ever consider her a rapper, nor a top 10 of all time rapper.
No, and the Fugees were more pop than they were hip hop. I mean, don't get me wrong. I listened to them a ton, but
kinda. I mean, they had some good stuff, but she's not a rapper. I don't.
No, she's not. Absolutely no. She's not a rapper.
Yeah,
she's not in the top 100. She's talented.
Right. I like her. She's very talented.
She's not. I mean, you could almost. I mean, I don't know.
If you have Lauryn Hill as number 7 on your top 10 rappers list, your list has no credibility. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now.
I agree. Your whole list is garbage at this point.
Correct. Now, that being said, number 6 is someone we're both going to agree should be here, if not even higher, Andre 3000.
Yeah, big Andre 3000 fan.
Yes, and we were both huge Outkast fans as a group, but it was always clear he was the better of the two.
Yeah.
And that's not, with the Ghostface Killah argument, I don't think you can make that argument that he was better than other guys in Wu-Tang. In fact, I think other guys in Wu-Tang were better than him.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 guys in Wu-Tang I would say are better.
What are yours? I bet they're the same as mine, but what are yours?
GZA and Method Man.
Meth was on mine. I was actually going to say RZA and Meth. Number 5, Nas, which I'll agree with too. Nas is great.
Yeah, Nas is definitely. I mean, he's in all top 10 lists.
Correct. And actually, as we go on this list, I really don't have a problem with anybody that's on here now. It's the one glaring omission though that we'll get to. But number 4, Rakim, a little before our time, but I know and I've heard enough of him to realize how good he was. Lyrically, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and he's, if you search any of these lists, he's on most of them in the top 10. I don't know a lot of his stuff, but yeah, like you said, I've heard some of it. But yeah, he was good, and I think Guess Who's Back was one of my favorite ones from like 1992.
Yeah, well, maybe even earlier than that, but yeah. Number 3, Eminem. Can't argue that. Love Eminem. Think he's fantastic.
Great rapper.
Yep. Number 2, Jay-Z. Love Jay-Z. Think number 2 of all time is a little high. I'd actually have Nas probably ahead of him, but he's a top 10 rapper though. I will give him that.
If he's a top 10 rapper because of his marketability and sustainability, it's because he's been around so long.
Right. Well, longevity is part of it, I think.
Longevity is part of it, but I don't know.
He's I'm trying to think of a sports equivalent to him, but he's a Hall of Fame guy that amassed 3,000 hits, but he did have his first 2 Blueprint albums were his MVP discussion years. So he did have the couple of All-Star years, and then other than that, he just put up a bunch of hits consistently for his career.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, but yeah, it doesn't put that guy in the Hall of Fame. I guess because he got the 3,000 hits, he has to get in. But that's kind of what I feel about Jay-Z, is that it's kind of like, yeah, well, we kind of have to include him because he's been around so long.
Yeah, well, I think that is part of it, though.
He's like a participation ribbon guy.
Kinda, but it's really hard to stay relevant in the rap game through so many decades like he has.
That's very true. Usually you're in jail or dead in the rap game.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dead, number 1, Notorious B.I.G. I like Notorious B.I.G. I always thought he was slightly overrated, but I am a huge fan of him as a rapper.
He is absolutely overrated. Don't get me wrong. The Life After Death, CD was great, but I don't like this guy had, 1 or 2 rap albums, he died, or someone has 1 album, they die, and it's such this great album. It's like, oh my God, okay, he had a great album. He could have been the next worst thing ever. His next album could have been the worst thing you've ever seen. So,
well, I don't think it would have done that, but yeah, I wouldn't have him number 1.
No.
But he's probably in my top 10 for sure. It definitely in my top 15.
He's in the top 10, I think, for me.
Yeah.
But
did you notice I didn't say someone's name on this list?
Yeah, the fact that Tupac's not in the top 10 is an absolute travesty.
You have Lauryn Hill in your top 10, and yet Tupac Shakur, who I'm sure most people would have as their number 1 rapper, and if not, everyone has to have him in their top 5. Everyone is not on your list. Your list sucks, is what I'm telling you, Billboard. Your list is full of shit.
Yeah, it's the worst list I've ever seen of any top 10 I've ever read for anything. I mean, yeah. I can't believe Lauryn Hill is in this thing. And yet Lil Wayne, no chance at the top 10. There's other guys where you can shuffle in and around and down. You could sit here and split hairs over Nas or Rakim or Eminem and where they belong. Again, Jay-Z right. or Notorious. Everyone's going to have differing views on those guys. But I think everyone consensus-wise, those guys you're going to find in top 10s.
Agreed. Well, so this list made us so angry that we decided for our top 5 segment this week, our world-renowned top 5 segment, by the way. It's all anybody talks about in the world.
Yes. People are tweeting. People are live tweeting at the moment.
Correct. Even though we're not broadcasting this live.
That's okay. They're listening and live tweeting.
That's amazing. They're outside our window right now listening. This is great.
They are.
So we decided we wouldn't do a top 5 best rappers because obviously Billboard did that for us. We would do our top 5 favorite rappers, and we also included rap groups. So this is really either or. So we didn't break out the Ghostface Killers of the world. We included the whole group and Andre 3000 and so on. Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first, sir?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
All right.
I have the feeling we're going to share a lot of these.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. We have many of the same likes and dislikes. So, number 5, DMX.
Knew he would be on your list. You're a big fan.
Big fan. And to my point, after his first CD, had he died, we'd be talking about him like Notorious B.I.G.
Well, that's
CD,
correct.
CD 2,
Also,
3, 4, 5 each got worse.
right. 2 and 3 were still pretty good, but
2
yes,
and 3 are
they
fine. Oh
started
yeah,
to get
they
progressively worse.
all they all got worse. Okay, so number
Hold
4.
on, before you move on from DMX, real quick, was there ever a song slash person combination that made you fear for your life more than Mike Tyson coming out to the DMX intro back in like '98 or whatever year that was?
That was the greatest. That intro song on his "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot" CD is still awesome.
Oh, it's great, but Mike Tyson coming out to that, I would have, and that was when Tyson just had only been out of jail for like a fight or two, like he had just come back. I'm leaving the building. If that song
Yeah,
comes on and Tyson's coming out with the towel over his head and I'm in the ring, I'm out. See ya. Sorry, I'm too scared.
yeah. Mike Tyson could have come out to Barney the purple dinosaur singing "I Love You," and I would still be incredibly intimidated.
Yes. Sorry to derail you, but that had to be mentioned. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that no problem there. Okay, number 4, Eminem.
Yep.
Big,
We've already talked about how great he is. Great lyricist.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
big Eminem fan. Okay, number 3, I've got Tupac. So obviously he's going to be in the top 5 list somewhere. Number 2, see, I've got 2 written in pen as Outcast, but 1 and 2 for me are just so interchangeable. I still listen to both 1 and 2 music once a month. I'll
I'm
put on one of the old
assuming your
CDs.
number one is Wu-Tang.
Yes. So between Wu-Tang and Outkast, I mean, those are the 2 that I can still listen to today, and I love it. I mean, I don't listen to much DMX, Eminem, and Tupac anymore. I will when I get in the mood. But, I mean, Outkast and Wu-Tang Clan, I mean, Christ, my daughter can sing So Fresh and So Clean.
Which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah. And anytime before bed, she wants me to play it. She loves the song. And
You
so
are both the best and the worst parent of all time for having your daughter learn So Fresh and So Clean is like her first song that she sings.
yeah, that's okay. At least I didn't like teach her Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with or something. So
Well, that's true. Although that would maybe be even more impressive. But
yeah, it would. I mean, she could have like a Wu-Tang tattoo already, which would be cool. So that's
yeah,
my list. 1 and 2 are so interchangeable for me.
ours are almost identical, just change of order. So I have number 5 for me was Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Ooh.
Not a lot of people,
Meet me at the
I'm sure they're not going to be
crossroads.
on a lot of people's lists. What's that?
What's your favorite song of theirs?
God, everyone is gonna say Crossroads, which I love that song. Um, for me, First of the Month, man, was always my favorite. Like it's such a chill song that I just love listening to. It always gets me in a good mood.
Yeah, First of the Month's great, but my favorite song of theirs was Crept and We Came.
Yeah, well, Crept and We Came, and then actually, honestly, my favorite song of theirs that's not even on their CD, The Bone and Biggie, is their best
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
That was fantastic.
Busy Bone loses his mind in that one.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so no, when they came out, like I had never heard people rap that fast and but yet they were melodic. Like it was just like something I'd never heard before. So I'll still listen to their songs. Like I have them on my Spotify playlist and stuff. So I still love them. Number 4 for me, same as you, Eminem. Love him. He actually, to be honest, if he can have a couple more really good albums, which I don't think is going to happen, but he actually could move up on my list. Number 3 for me was Outkast. Same reasons you said. I love them. Still listen to them today. I think they were just so unique in everything they did. the double disc where they both did their own thing, I thought was genius. I thought that was fantastic, and no one had ever done that before.
And Outkast, if they made a CD right now, I would be first in line at the Sam Goody to buy it. Do they still have Sam Goodies?
I doubt it. Number 2 for me was Wu-Tang. Just so many great individual rappers that fit so well together. It was almost unfair for them. If you're talking about the best all time, they're probably number 1. But my favorite all time number 1, no surprise here, Tupac. Tupac's my guy. I listen to Tupac at least at once a day. Probably more.
Really that often?
Yeah.
Still.
I love Tupac. Just, to me, his songs, I don't, just the anger he rapped with, and yet sometimes he'd have the softer side, but he was always so truthful. Like, I just loved it, man. He was so good lyrically.
I once a day. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not
Well,
hating. That's
he also, I have a bunch of his songs on my workout playlist too. So I mean, that's a little bit cheating, because when I work out, it's kind of a running loop of about 12 to 20 songs. So, and I have like 3 of his on there. So
okay.
Cheating a little bit, but
that
still.
makes sense. No, but that still counts.
Still love Tupac. And to go with your after he dead thing, he came out with more albums after he was dead than before he died. So there's something to be said about that too.
Yeah, isn't he going to the Grammys? Like, isn't he like rumored to go to the Grammys with Lauryn Hill or
really
something?
I hope so. Which, speaking of, let's get to that real quick. Grammy nominations just came out. Again, we're going to dedicate a whole podcast to this, so I don't want to make any crazy predictions or anything like that. The only things of note, really, Kendrick Lamar led all nominees, which a little odd and yet kind of cool in the same regard that a rapper's leading all the nominations. Taylor Swift, of course, killing it. Was there any snubs that you looked at? I have one in particular that, just because I love the song, but which I guess I'll lead it off before I even ask you. But
Yeah,
Hotline Bling by Drake, not up for anything. To me, if you're asking, like, I don't know if it's just because it's so current, but man, that song's huge. I love that song, and to not even be up for best rap, or it's not up for anything.
yeah. I don't know why. And usually the Grammys like Drake, so it's not like it's a boycott of Drake. So I don't know. I don't know. That is an odd one. That is an odd one that they left out.
It's strange. I think the only other thing that it kind of took me a little off guard was they chose Blank Space of Taylor Swift's. Like, of all the big songs she's had this year, that's the one that's getting like the up for Song of the Year and Pop Song of the Year and all that. I was a little surprised by that. That one would probably be like my 3rd favorite song of hers single that they had this year. So
what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Go ahead and say it.
I mean, I think "Shake It Off" was a better song. It was a better pop song.
Shake It Off is fantastic.
Yeah, but even the the 3rd one, I can't remember the 3rd one what it was called, but I don't know. I don't remember. I've heard she's had so many singles this year, but I don't know. Blank Space was okay, but it wasn't my favorite one she did. Have you heard the Girl Crush song? I know you're not in the country, but have you heard the song Girl Crush by Little Big Town?
Nope. No, I don't know anything you just said.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make you listen to all these before we do our Grammy podcast, but that song I feel like could win Song of the Year, and I'm glad that it's up for it. Where was sorry, I'm trying to pull this up right now. I was trying to see who was up for Album of the Year. So there it is. So Alabama Shakes. Do you know who they are?
I have no idea who they are.
They're really good, but I'm shocked that they're up for Album of the Year. It's almost like how Beck was up for Album of the Year last year. No one really knew he came out with an album.
Well, he won it though last year, didn't he?
I know. That's what I'm saying. So who knows this year?
Who is Alabama Shakes? Are they country? What are they?
No, they're like they're like alternative rock kind of, but they have like soul to them. It's a chick singer. I don't even know how to describe them, what they're like, because they're so different than anybody. They're really good. They have a little rock, little soul, little blues, little bit of everything in them. But they don't really have any songs you would know, I don't think.
Does anyone beat 1989? Taylor Swift?
I don't think so, but the only guy that might is Chris Stapleton, who was the country singer that came out of nowhere, and him and Timberlake had that performance at the CMAs last month. I think he's got a shot. And actually, The Weeknd has an outside shot. But Taylor Swift wins. I mean, and she should. That album was incredible. But I don't want to give any of this away. We're giving too much away.
It's in my stocking. It's in my stocking. I bought it for myself.
Good. We're doing a Grammy podcast, so it's happening.
Well, I'll have to do a lot of studying because I don't know who any of these people are.
I know. I'm going to make you study. We're going to listen to we'll listen to all the songs on the podcast.
Well, is it going to be the Grammys about like 1990s rap? Because I can definitely speak about that.
No. It's not.
I can feel my face when I'm with you.
Yeah, see, that's The Weeknd. You know that song.
Yeah.
That's up for Song of the Year, by the way.
I know it is. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. I'm
just making sure I know that what these freaking songs are.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm a little upset the Biebs isn't nominated, but I don't think he made the deadline or something. I can't even tell you how much I love the new Biebs song.
He sucks.
All right, well, we're not going to get into this.
Sucks.
Biebs is great. All right, let's go for picks of the week quickly. We're running out of time here. No college picks this week, obviously. Oh. So let's go. Well, actually, we will do a college pick. Who's your Heisman winner?
Heisman winner, it's Derrick Henry.
I would love to disagree. Actually, I'm going to disagree. A lot of late heat on McCaffrey. I'm going to go with him, even though you texted me the other day asking if he could ever win the Heisman, and I said no. Yeah, I'm going to go with McCaffrey because there's so much late push for him right now. He's getting all the buzz.
Podcast sandbagger. That's what I'm going to call you. Podcast sandbagger.
Well, I want to be different from you. I don't want to agree with you.
I'm pitching McCaffrey, and you're like, oh, you poo-poo all over. You're like, no, you can't. He's not going to win. And here you are. You podcast against what I said was going to happen. This is bullshit. It's a formal protest of the podcast.
Well, as good as your football picks have been all year long, I am trusting the fact that Henry now has no chance to win, so I can't pick him.
Oh, yeah, I can't combat anything you just said, but either still, you're a podcast sandbagging son of a bitch.
Okay.
I said
all right, whatever. Let's go picks of the week. Pro football. So we had this one in before the game tonight, and the game's not over yet, so I'm still going to put it in. But Vikings at Cardinals. Cardinals were -7.5 favorites. Who did you have?
Before the game or currently?
No, before the game. We have to go with what we were picking before the game.
Before the game,
so people can see how much of an idiot we both are.
Yeah, no, I had the Cardinals, but I wasn't taking the points.
I had the Cardinals, and I was taking the points, so which still might happen. It's only early in the third quarter right now, so we don't know what's going to happen.
7-point game right now. I'm right. You're wrong.
As of now, there's time.
Yes.
Bridgewater will do something stupid. All right, moving on. The big game. Not to most people, but to us. Saints at Bucks. Bucks -3.5. Must win. Mark Ingram out for the Saints.
Yeah, I got the Bucks and covering.
I do too. Don't feel comfortable with it. I feel like we're one of those teams that when we're favored, we don't do well, and when we're the dog, we shock everybody.
Yeah, I also I don't know. It's probably too early. We'll probably lose by 3 touchdowns, but I feel we've turned a corner lately, and Doug Martin's obviously running for a big contract. And so the late playoff push, home game, I think hopefully the stadium's got a little buzz to it. Come Sunday, I'll be there, so I'll be adding to that. But
that's a fun fact.
Yeah, so I think the Bucks pull it off and cover the spread and win by 10.
Will you be wearing a Jameis jersey there?
I will. I'm gonna. I was gonna say paint my face, but I guess that would be bad.
Oh boy, and we're gonna get fired. Great.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The only thing that scares me a little bit, Quan Alexander is out now, finally getting his suspension for PEDs. Not having that good middle linebacker against Drew Brees. A little scary, but we'll see. Drew Brees is a shell of himself. So,
yes.
The top game of the week, always a good matchup nowadays. Steelers at Bengals. Bengals -3. This is the cream of the crop for sure this weekend.
I got the Steelers winning that game.
Oh, how dare you! You're stealing my thunder. That's exactly who I have. I thought I was going to shock you on this one.
No, the Steelers are good. I mean, it's not anything against the Bengals. It's just I like the Steelers right now.
Their passing attack is unbelievable. It's so dynamic.
It might be second to none in the NFL.
I agree. I think, I mean, especially this year with Rodgers and, Brady was moving it early in the year, but this is on par to me with last year's New England and Green Bay offenses.
I agree, and I don't. You'll probably disagree because I know that you've got a major man crush on Beckham Jr., but to me, there's no better wide receiver in the NFL than Antonio Brown.
Well, you're out of your mind, but he's extremely good. Odell Beckham is the greatest receiver to ever play this game.
Oh my god! That's just now we've just completely lost our minds, and it's called the loony bin.
Hey, it's fine. I lost my mind a long time ago. Odell Beckham's fantastic. If you could get like extra points for one-handed catches, he would lead the world.
Yeah, he would.
How many one-handed catches has Antonio Brown made? Answer me that.
How many punt returns does Odell Beckham Jr. have where he dry humps a goalpost?
Why do you answer a question with a question?
Why wouldn't I?
The goal celebration was fantastic, by the way. You should not fine him or flag him. You should be telling him that he just won the internet.
Yeah, and he literally kicked a punter in the face last year, like Daniel LaRusso style.
What's the over-under on how many times you've watched the Vine of him dry humping the goalpost? I'm going to say, let's see, is 13.5 a good number, or is that not even close?
No, that's a good number.
Okay, and I'm going to say it's the over, but I'm going to say 13.5 is the line.
No, it's under. It's probably 11.
Probably 11.
Yeah.
I think I watched it 11 times within 5 minutes of it happening.
He is there. Look, there's no. Okay, he may not be the best wide receiver, but there's no better wide receiver in the NFL with the ball in his hands.
I agree, and I'm just joking. I really think he could be. There's so many good ones right now. He could be the best. I mean, there's a handful of guys that all could be the best, but he's definitely in the conversation.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's all we got this week.
That's it.
Anything else to add?
No, I have nothing else to add.
All right. It's a good week, bud.
It is a good week.
I'm glad we got the Billboard Top 10 on rap list off our chest because that's been bothering me for a long time.
I mean, as soon as I saw it, it ruined my entire day. I mean, just Lauryn Hill, come on.
Yeah. Hey. Well, let Wu-Tang lead us in. Let's let Looney's I Got Five on it lead us out, and let's get out of here.
And let's never talk about that Billboard list again.
Agreed. Consider it done.
Yes. Starting
All right, buddy.
now.
All right, buddy. Good luck. We'll we'll pick this up next week.
See ya.
All right, everybody. By the way, you can catch our podcast on our website, thoughtsaboutnothingpodcast.blogspot.com. We have a link to it on there. You can also catch it on SoundCloud and any day now on iTunes, but not yet.
Any day now, it will be a viral trend on Twitter.
Correct. All right, guys. We will talk to you next week. See you, Mays. Go Bucks.
See ya. Go Bucks.